Okay, I'd like to do a real quick video on Hittest. And basically at work today I had a designer come up to me and say, hey Mike, I forgot how to do Hittest. How do you do that? So let's go and run this example right here. I have two movie clips and a little text box here that's going to do something for me. So let's run that. And every time I take this box movie clip 1 and roll over movie clip 2, I get a little ouch, ouch, ouch. So Hittest is working. And there's actually two parts to Hittest. The first part is basically you need a drag and drop methodology or function, and the other one is you need to basically tell you if it's rolled over or not. And I'm actually using an add listener to my frame rate to actually, or my frame set to actually get that to happen. So let's go ahead and go through the code real quick and show you how this is made. And the first thing you want to do is go ahead and just add a listener to the stage, and this listener is going to be an on interframe listener. So every time your frame hits a new frame, you're going to call the function interframe handler. So what the interframe handler is going to do is actually going to see if movie 1 has collided with movie 2. So what I need to do real quick here, let me just go back to the actual movie text, is I create a little movie and I give it an instance name. So let's go to the properties window. MV1, that's the instance name, and I create another movie called MV2. Let's go to the properties window. And I need something to actually print my text out to, so I create this little box here, a little text box, and I just grab the little tool T, text for text, and I just typed in a text box, or dragged out a text box. Let's go and take a look at that real quick here. If I look at my tools, to hit the T and just drag out a text box and give it a name, that's all you really have to do here. And I'll Control Z that, so I don't want to do that right now. Make sure you click on that and give it the instance name. And let's go to properties. What is that instance name? Hittest. And that's where all my elements for the stage come from. Now let's go back to the actions once again. And you don't see any actions because you remember I didn't click on the A when I actually hit actions, and there's my actions. So always click on the A to see your actions. And you can see right here, once again, the code is pretty easy to look at. You got MV1, if it hit test the object MV2, and all that is inside of what's called this instance, this event handler, which actually fires on every frame. Now your frame rate, what is that? And if you're not sure what that is, you need to make sure you set that. I typically like to run around 15 frames a second for the web. So we'll just go to properties again, and that's where you change everything. And our properties of actually running 24 frames a second, let's bring that down to 15 frames a second, and we're good right there. And so that's actually going to fire every 15 frames a second. It's going to be checking to see if MV1 has rolled over or hit MV2. Now that's only part of the code, because what you have to do now, you actually have to do the click and drag text. You actually need to be able to drag this on the screen. So you need to once again add an event listener, and that would be a mouse down. And if you click on mouse down, you run this function right here, and when you run that function, you do the start drag method. Now this code may look a bit complicated, but I actually was able to generate this automatically using my code snippets. But let's go ahead and finish up. Then basically you've got a stage listener here when you do the mouse up, and when the mouse goes up, what do? You actually release, let me bring it down so you can see the code, MV1, and the drag stops. So let's just run the code real quick and just explain it one more time. So you can see the code actually starts running, and I have my interframe listener that's listening to see if this one has collided with that one, doing the Hittest. And I have my click, which actually when I grab it, I actually can drag it, and I've let go, it stops dragging. So I come along here, and if I hit it, ouch, ouch, ouch. It prints out the function ouch, which is in the action script method. Once again, going back to the action script, you can see here's my on interframe. If the two collide, I get an ouch, and if not, I get nothing. And that's really all there is to creating this code. Now the first part you actually have to write is not in the code snippets, but the second part, the click and drag, the dragging, is actually in the code snippets. So one way of actually doing this would actually to put the two objects on the stage, go to your window, and bring this down so you can see it, and find your code snippets. And actually in your code snippets there is a drag and drop function, so that would be very easy for you to write that portion of the code. The rest of it is just basically custom made or tailored by me, and hopefully as Adobe moves on they'll be adding more of these functions, so it becomes more and more click and drag. So that's how you do a Hittest, and we'll see you next time.